A groundhog digging under your Cincinnati home is a genuine threat to your property's foundation. Thinking of trapping and moving it? That common solution could be illegal in Ohio without specific landowner permission. Releasing it on any public land, like a park or roadside, is explicitly forbidden by law, contrary to popular belief. The moment you trap that groundhog, you become legally responsible for what happens to it next. We will now break down Ohio's trapping laws and your options, so a pest problem doesn't become a legal one. So, when can you legally act? Ohio law defines groundhogs as a nuisance only if they are actively causing damage. With relocation off the table for most, you are left with two primary choices: release it on site or euthanize it. Releasing the animal back onto your own property is legal, but this often feels like a temporary fix at best. The other option is euthanasia, which Ohio law demands be humane, quick, and painless, referencing veterinary standards. Considering a firearm? Inside Cincinnati city limits, restrictive discharge laws make this option nearly impossible for residents. Before you even get to that choice, the act of trapping itself is covered in strict regulations. Let's look at the trap. Your trap must be labeled with your name and address or a state wildlife ID. This is about accountability. If you set it, you own it. The law also requires you check the trap at least once every calendar day to prevent animal suffering. But what kind of trap can you use? Trap regulations exist to protect other animals, including pets. Rules on jaw spread and placement are meant to avoid unintended victims. This sounds complicated, so you might think about hiring someone. That decision is also governed by state law. To charge a fee for wildlife removal in Ohio, a person needs a specific state license. This protects you from liability and bad work. Hiring an unlicensed operator puts you both in legal jeopardy. That person could face major fines or even criminal charges. Let's review the specifics. If you're using a body gripping or kill trap, the rules are particularly intense. First, the jaw spread cannot exceed 7 inches. Second, it must be within 3 feet of the burrow. Third, it needs a protective enclosure. Using a live trap, your full name and address must be clearly attached. The 24-hour check rule is absolute. Miss a day, and you're in violation. So, to answer our earlier question, no, you cannot just use any trap. Each type has laws designed for humane, responsible management. Imagine trapping a groundhog and dropping it in a local park. You just broke Ohio law, earning a potential citation for your efforts. Just when you think you understand state law, there's another layer: Cincinnati's own local ordinances, which can be even stricter. For example, Ohio's year-round groundhog hunting season does not override Cincinnati's local ordinances against discharging firearms. What about using deterrence to avoid trapping? Many common methods are ineffective and don't absolve you of liability for the damage. Don't expect the city to handle this. Local animal control typically does not manage nuisance wildlife, putting the responsibility on you. So you have state laws, stricter local rules, and no public agency to help. How do these parts form such a legal minefield? Recall how the common solution of relocation is illegal. This, combined with strict euthanasia rules, points you away from risky DIY methods. You are legally responsible for the trapped animal, but within Cincinnati, a firearm isn't a viable option for most homeowners. The trap labeling, the 24-hour checks, the jaw spread limits. This is a system designed to make casual, uninformed trapping legally difficult. The entire legal framework, from relocation bans to licensing requirements, creates a high standard for removing wildlife yourself. A groundhog in your Cincinnati yard is not a simple pest issue. It is a regulated activity with very real legal consequences. You must avoid 3 major mistakes: illegal relocation, improper trapping, and hiring an unlicensed operator for the job. Before you act, Make 2 calls. First, your local Cincinnati police for community-specific rules. Second, a state-licensed wildlife operator. Protecting your property from a groundhog is your right. Doing it legally is your responsibility. Now you know how to do both.